Hello, in this video I'm gonna explain everything about charging, power management and taking care of your battery on a laptop. First I'm gonna explain how to charge, then I'm gonna explain charging issues, then how to save battery, and at the end whether or not and when to replace the battery if it's old. So let's move on to how to charge. Different laptops have different ports. Usually it's a proprietary port, but the newer ones more often get the USB-C port. USB-C port is really good because you can use your phone charger, for example, in order to charge your laptop, and it's also easily replaceable because, as you can see, this laptop I have right here has a proprietary cable that can be replaced only with the exact same one. So I need to buy it from the manufacturer. It's often unavailable for sale, or especially the genuine cables are not available, or maybe it's often also expensive because it's just, not often sold. So that's often an issue. And if you are buying a non-genuine cable, then it may easily break. So you would prefer to buy a genuine one to make sure it will last longer. In the past, I've had a non-genuine charger for a MacBook, and it has broken after a day. So you would want to avoid doing that. To plug it in, just find the charging port. Sometimes it's on the left side, sometimes on the right side, and sometimes on the back here or there. But usually I find it on the left side. So just find the matching port. Oftentimes it will have a symbol. Let me show you that. This symbol, which means DC power, and you can plug the cable in. If it's a USB-C port, then it may, for example, have a bolt here. That will mean that this USB-C port supports charging, because if your laptop has multiple USB-C ports, sometimes not all of them support charging. Sometimes one, sometimes two of them. For example, one on each side. So it also depends. And if your laptop isn't charging for some reason, then, as I've said before about the non-genuine chargers, make sure that your charger is genuine. Also, it may have damaged in a different way. So if it has, then you may want to replace it. Also, make sure that the power socket you are plugged in is not broken, because sometimes sockets may be broken. So try a different socket, or try plugging in a different device into that socket to see if the problem is on its side. Also, if you are using USB-C to charge, then you may be using a power brick that may not supply enough power. The laptops use way more power than phones. So a standard like 5 or 10 watt charger will not be enough. You should use something like 45 watts or 65 watts. I have a video on this channel that tells you more about it. So if you want to check if the charging brick will supply enough power to your laptop, then find a video on our channel which says if you can charge your laptop with a phone charger, and this will explain it. So now, once that's explained, also make sure that the port you are using to charge your laptop isn't broken, isn't dirty. Sometimes there may be dust inside that's blocking the cable, and it has just wrong connection. you can use an old toothbrush that is soft enough to not break anything, and just brush it out of here, or use compressed gas, and it should help. If all of this doesn't help, I would suggest you taking your laptop to a technician, because maybe it's due to some liquidation or something got unsoldered on the motherboard, so there may be different issues with that. So this is about charging. Now let's move on to the battery saving. So battery saving, I'm gonna open the laptop and show you the screen, because now we're gonna work on the system. Let me just quickly unlock it. Okay. And now let's begin with the settings, because in settings there are many various settings that may help you preserve a longer battery life. The first one being the power mode. It's the most popular settings and most recommended one to change first. So let's go to the settings. And now go to System, Power and Battery, and you will see Power Mode. Now you will see this selection list, and to save the battery the best, you would want to put it on best power efficiency. Or if you want to have better performance but also save battery, you would put it on balanced. And if you don't care about the battery, or you are just plugged into power all the time, you can put it on best performance. But I'm having it on power efficiency, and it works just well, and the battery is actually saved. Now, in the same settings, go to energy recommendations. Here, you'll get some recommendations that will help you lower your battery usage. And on different laptops, there will be different settings. So, for example, here I get to set the power mode to best energy efficiency. So I'm gonna apply that. Turn on dark mode, I have it turned on already. Set the screen brightness for best energy efficiency. You can see it lowers it. And you can do more with that. Now, let's move on to the next thing, which is closing apps. So if you have multiple apps opened and some of them aren't used by you at the moment, you should close them, because they drain energy even if they are running in the background, especially games. So if you have a game running in the background and if you are not using it at this moment and not planning on using in the next several minutes, I would suggest you closing that game, and you can go back to it when you want to use it again. Then lower the screen brightness. It will also help you preserve the battery life. I have it lowered already, but to do it, click on this control center right here. And here you can adjust the brightness with this bar. So it's pretty easy. Just turn it lower so it saves the battery. The other thing is to turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi if not needed. So also go here and you'll see Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. If it's highlighted, then it's on, and if it's not highlighted, so it's dark gray or light gray, then it will be off. And I'm not currently using Bluetooth, so I have that disabled. I can also disable the Wi-Fi because I don't need it anymore. I don't use internet at the moment, and this saves the battery. Especially if you, for example, aren't at home and you are not connected to the Wi-Fi, because if you are not connected to the Wi-Fi but Wi-Fi is enabled, then it will drain a lot of power. Because your laptop will search for available networks all the time. So, for example, if you are on a train and you are passing different Wi-Fi networks, passing by them, passing by different homes, it will see these networks in the background and just try to check if it can connect to it, and that drains power. Now you can go to the blast thing, which will be more of like not exactly battery saving, but more of checking if your battery is ready for replacement. So go to the search, and in the search for PowerShell. Now make sure to run it as administrator. Now click on yes, and now if the prompt shows, now it has shown ps c:\Windows/system32. If that's the case, you are running it as an administrator, and you should type in the command the same as me. So this will be power cfg, that's cfg, then space / battery report without a space, then space, then / output, and then in double quotes type in the path you want to save the file to. The file has to end in .html. So I'm gonna enter a path. You can enter the same one. Just type in c:\, and now battery.html, and close the double quote, and now you can click on enter. And if it says battery life report save to file path, then it's okay, and now you can go to the file explorer on your laptop and go to this PC, local disk C. Now you'll see the battery file here. Double click on it and it will open a browser, and in the browser it will show you the battery life, so you can read all of that. For example, in this graph right here you'll see how long does it take to discharge your laptop. You'll see all the logs of your battery, so that's really helpful, and you can use it this way. Also here you'll see the full charge capacity and the cycle count. And now with this we can move on to when is the time for replacement of your battery. The batteries degrade over time, and it's a natural process, so don't be worried about that. It happens to every battery on this world, and it just breaks, it just destroys with usage, and sometimes it should be replaced, usually after around 3 years. Of course, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but if you want to preserve the best battery life, then you probably would want to do it. And to do it, you should take it to a technician usually. Later on I'm gonna explain the replaceable batteries, but because sometimes laptops have easily replaceable batteries, so you don't have to take it to a technician. But now let's talk about the cycle count. Cycle count is just the one cycle is one full charge. So 7 cycle counts of 7 means that I've charged this laptop only 7 times, and that's really low. But after maybe 2 to 3 years it may be 400, 500, and if it's around 500 it's usually recommended to replace the battery. But it also may differ, because sometimes it will be 300, sometimes 1000. So Actually, the battery should be replaced if you feel the actual drops in the battery life, if the battery life becomes unsatisfying and you need it to last longer. But this may come in handy if you want to make extra sure if the cycle count is actually that big. Also, you can see the design capacity and the full charge capacity. What do they mean? The design capacity means the factory capacity. So like it was brand new, it had 37,012 milliwatt hours. And now, after these 7 charges, it has less milliwatt hours. And that's a standard process. Of course, it also changes over time. So if there's a big difference between design capacity and full charge capacity, then that means that actually the performance has dropped and the battery life is much lower than it was when the laptop was brand new. So this is about replacing your battery. Now let's move on to the last thing, which is easily replaceable battery, which occurs in some laptops. So I'm gonna close the lid like that to show you the bottom of the laptop. And here you can see there is no battery for replacement. But on some laptops, especially older ones, you can replace the battery easily. It will be either somewhere here or maybe here. Sometimes it's also like weird, maybe here, but usually it's on the edge, and you can just press on like 2 buttons and pop the battery out and put a new one in. So it's pretty easy to replace it, but of course it doesn't happen on all laptops. The newer ones have the battery inside, and if you know how to replace battery and you are extra careful with that, you can do it. But if you are not into replacing battery yourself, you can just take your laptop to a technician and they will do it for you. And that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.